So in the last lecture, we understood the MVC pattern, model view and controller, and how Laravel structures application. Now it's time to zoom out. In this lecture, we are not talking about small components. We are talking about the complete architecture of the application that we are going to build in this course. And trust me, once you understand this architecture, everything else will become very clear. Let's imagine our application at the top. Our application has two major parts. One is backend and another is frontend. Very simple architecture. But inside this structure, something powerful is happening. On the backend side, the first important thing is authentication and authorization. We will have admin users. Only authorized users will be allowed to log in and create blog posts. So when an admin logs into the system, they create a blog post. That blog post is stored in our database. For database, we are using MySQL. This is where the actual blog content is saved permanently. But here's where things get interesting. When the admin create a blog post, we are not only saving it in MySQL, we are also doing something smart. We are converting that blog into vector embeddings. And for generating vector embeddings, we will use OpenAI API. OpenAI will convert our blog into numerical vector format. Now, why it is important? Because vector allow machines to understand meaning, not just keywords. We store them inside a vector database. There are many vector databases available, but in this course, we are going to use Quadrant. Quadrant is a very powerful vector database designed specifically for similarity search, and we will build a service layer in our Laravel course that will send embeddings to Quadrant, store them, query them when needed. So backend does two things when blog is created: store blog in MySQL, convert blog into vector and store in Quadrant. This is very important to understand. Now let's take a look on the front end architecture. On the front end, we are going to have two major features. One is a blog listing page. We will fetch blog posts directly from the MySQL. This is a normal database fetching, nothing special here. Now comes the exciting part. We will build an AI powered assistant. This assistant will not perform traditional keyword searches. Let me explain the difference. In the traditional search, if you type sports, it will only match blogs that contain that word sports. But what about if you type I want to play something? Traditional search may fail in that situation. But semantic search understands your intent. It understands you are asking about games or sports. How? Here's the flow. When user types their input, we send that input to OpenAI. OpenAI converts the user input into vector embedding. That vector is compared with vectors stored in Quadrant. Quadrant finds the most similar blog post and we return the intelligent results. Now this is called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. We are retrieving relevant data using vectors and then generating meaningful responses. This is modern AI architecture and you are going to build it from scratch in this course. Now let's summarize everything. When admin logs in, they can be able to create blog. Blogs are going to be stored in MySQL. Apart from that, blogs are going to be converted into vector embeddings with the help of OpenAI and vectors stored in our Quadrant databases. On the front end, we are going to have a blog listing page. Apart from that, we are going to have an assistant page in which when a user types something, it's going to be matched with the Quadrant database and a relevant blog written with that input. Simple, powerful and professional. I know my drawing may be not perfect, but I am 100% confident that now you clearly understand what we are building, why we are building, and how everything connects together. In the next lecture, we will deep dive into what is vector database. So stay excited because now the real AI journey begins.